Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you a flip through of the month of August in my Hobonichi Cousin, which is my main planner. And also we will have a planner chat today because after all it is planner season where most people have already bought or are considering planners for next year. So let us begin. Now as usual I will go through all the spreads in my planner because I tend to use, I believe, all of them. So let's go into it. Before that, if any of you could, provide me recommendations for a better cover next year, I would really appreciate that. I don't know what is going wrong exactly last month because my book has got extremely dirty. Of course, I think it's more on the cover. I don't know whether you can see it on camera, all the black. See, it's fine that it has got dirty. I'm okay with that as long as I will be able to clean it up. I have not tried cleaning it up yet. So once I clean it up, I hope it goes. And the main issue with me more than that is the fact that I don't know how careless I was with it for this to happen. See, this is actually come tearing off now, the cover, if you can see. So this is the most it has come off. It's not a big deal. Here slightly at this end, not much on the front. The front is a little over here, not at all over here. But then it's starting to tear off, and in the sense that I'm not really worried for this year because it's already September now. But I'm worried about next year because I was planning to use the same cover for next year, but clearly it's not going to work. I think I will just store this planner in this cover, and one option for me is to buy the same thing again, order another one of this for next year. I prefer this because it's a very lightweight cover. I don't want any of those leather covers. I don't have the money for that. So I'm definitely not considering buying that. A Hobonichi cover was another thing that I considered. Maybe I should just get a Hobonichi cover this year, but then truthfully I didn't like any enough to spend that much money on it. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for next year, but if you have any other suggestions, you can please put it down and I would love to listen to that. Now let's go to all the spreads. So this is my first one. This is where I track my income because I have multiple sources of income and they are not consistent. I like to keep a track of them. Of course, I've covered it up over here, but what I basically do is I highlight in green the days that I receive a specific income and in the order I received and from whichever place I received. So here you can see I received from U first, which means 18th, and I've written the amount, and then of course on 19th I received from A and I've written the amount down. But in the case of the next month it was not same. Here I received on 10th from A first and then on 24th from U. So it's a minor thing, but I like how this is turning out this year. And so far I like it, so I probably will continue with this idea for next year as well. Now this is my index for the daily pages. As you can see, a lot of it is empty, some of it is filled up. Now as far as August is concerned, I've already filled it up. I have told this before, I tried using this as a habit tracker and it was a complete failure. I think I used it the previous year. You can see my flip through of that planner if you wish to. That was a great Hobonichi year for me, but this spread was a failure. And as far as this year is concerned, it's an index for my daily pages because I journal a lot over there and I find it easier to pick up the main subject or topic from here instead of going through a lot of that journaling. But of course some places I've left it blank. Not because I've not written anything there, it's more of there's nothing relevant enough that I feel should come in the index. I can probably go and read on it later if I want to, but nothing relevant enough to come here. Of course, in some cases I have not journaled at all, that is why it is empty. Now coming to the monthly spreads. This year the monthly was fairly blank for me because, this month was fairly blank. If you have seen all my previous months, it's a little more crowded than this because this month there were no birthdays, anniversaries. There were a few events that came up, as you can see, which are more or less church related, and I just highlight them. There's no color scheme to this. I want those events to stand out. That is why I've just used a highlighter, and that's about it. I track social media. Again, disastrous in terms of this month. I've just uploaded one video in August, and of course a few community post for which I received good interaction, so that that was something I was happy about. But truthfully, here I always think, I should just drop out of Instagram, not because I don't have any followers there, it's more because I don't use it at all. The only reason I joined Instagram is actually to look at, get inspired from others' posts. Or sometimes there are a lot of shops, that put up important news on Instagram or giveaways on Instagram, and I tend to miss it most of the time. But these days I barely use it. I kind of feel like I should drop it, but then I'm trying to hold onto it for this year to see whether I will use it. If not, I will probably drop it by next year. Yes, so I just track my numbers over here, which I used to not do earlier, but it makes me happy in the sense that it shows that there's a relation to how often I upload. Of course, if I don't upload regularly, I don't expect an improvement over here as well, and that is totally fine. And here I also generally track my bill. So this color indicates a specific bill, this round small sticker that you see, and I write down the amount. And there are other circle stickers like these that are used to indicate specific events, for which I have a key at the back of my planner. I remember them now, so I don't really need to refer to that key. So this is for my periods, this is for a church event, so I know what they indicate. And I love these because I can actually see the dates through the sticker. I'm not sure how much of it is on camera, but I can see the dates clearly. These are from the ECC circle stickers, which I find to be quite helpful because you get 3 sheets of circle stickers in different colors as such. Very few neutral colors, to be truthful, but as of otherwise, I love using them. My only issue with them is that at times they don't come off really well. For example, if you can see this over here, let me just bring it up close. If you can see the 23, I had put on a sticker over there, and I had to remove it because it got postponed to the next Sunday, and I kind of had put it earlier. And when I removed it, the first half was fine, the 2 remained fine, but then the second half, the 3 kind of, it got stuck to the sticker. So yes, I was able to put the same sticker onto the September spread, but here there was a slight issue. Now this I don't really understand, because at times it comes off very easily without any troubles. At times it kind of tears out the whole number. But then I don't think it's a big issue, because it was kind of my fault as well, because I put it on earlier when I was not sure about it. So I'm fine with it, but yeah, it kind of bothered me that happened. So that was that. And that's about it. I believe for this monthly it was very simple, not very crowded, and of course a washi to cover the dates that are not a part of this month, just for some color on the spread. A very empty spread as of otherwise. Now let's go to the weekly. Meanwhile, a few things to discuss. Have all of you actually ordered your planners for next year, or are you still considering them? You might have heard about all the new planners coming up. Now, of course, there were always several planner companies, but this year, I think more than other years, it turned out to be quite difficult for me, because many companies came out with TRP planners, so Tomoe River paper in their planners, which was not very common earlier. Of course, there were others than Hobonichi, but this year a lot more options, because some companies came out with different sizes in the planners that they have already. So a lot of options this year. Now Wonderland was already a company that had TRP planners, but I was not really interested in them because one, they had stacked weekends on their weeklies, and also because I felt that the amount of daily pages offered were quite less, and I didn't want to carry around 2 books just for the sake of the daily pages. And I didn't like their grayscale sort of situation that they had for the coloring of their paper. I know I'm complaining a lot about it, but it was always on the back of my mind as a second option. And there are a number of things why I didn't go for Wonderland. I never ordered from them, but it was always there in the back of my mind. But this year there were many more options. So Sterling Ink came out with her common planner. Of course, she has not released it yet, in the sense that pre-sales are going on. But yes, that is my top choice right now. If not Hobonichi, it would be the Sterling Ink one, because that is a very similar option to the Hobonichi, but meeting more of the needs that people wanted. I think many people will be really interested in her planner as such, because she has come up with daily pages that are not dated, and it's a B6 size too. So I think it's a great option to look out for. So she is one of the companies that I'm considering buying for as far as next year is concerned. But then also one thing to remember is that our dearest Hobonichi also released their English planners this year, the Cousin in English, as well as all the weeks, majority of the weeks at least, in English. So I think they were smart enough to do that, because if they had not done that, they would probably have serious competition with other planner companies. But as of right now, they came up with that, and I've already ordered the English Cousin. So I'm really excitedly waiting for that, because the English Cousin was not a desperate need for me. I was fine with the Japanese version, which I'm currently using. But obviously, when there is a choice between something I can understand, when things that are clearly can be understood on my planner, and things that I don't understand, I would prefer to have a language that I clearly understand. So yes, English version it is. And I'm pretty sure that if I continue with the Cousin for the coming years, it would always be the English Cousin that I would shift to, or prefer as such. So that is my choice as far as Hobonichi is concerned. I'm definitely going with the English version of the Hobonichi. So I've ordered that as such. And from what I've seen on the site, I don't know how many of you went through the site, the images that they showed. One more thing that I liked in the English version is that I felt that it has more of a clean spread, in the sense that there were too many things going on in the Japanese spreads. I feel that the English version is a lot more clean. Of course, I have to get the planner in hand to get a better idea and to show that to you as well. They don't have holidays, I believe, in the English Cousin now. So in the Japanese version, the dailies, they had holidays highlighted on the dailies, in some of the dailies as such. But as far as the English version is concerned, they have no holidays given, which makes me really happy, because see, most of the times holidays that are given in planners are not applicable to everyone. Even US planners for that matter, they give out US holidays in the monthlies, and I've often had to white out them because they don't really matter to me as such. So even if it were applicable to me, I think I would prefer to not have holidays on my planner spreads, because I prefer to write them on my own if they are really relevant, and decorate it on my own as such. So I'm glad that there are no holidays mentioned anywhere on the new planner as such. Now let's come back to my weeklies. I'm talking a lot regarding that. So these are my weeklies for August. The first week went fairly well. I went with my usual format of dividing my spread into three sections. There is me time. Oh my god, I did not notice this mistake. I have written me time over here as well. How did I not notice that? This is actually my to-do section. It is supposed to be titled as to-do. Okay, I am glad that I saw this now. I can't believe I didn't even notice it, but yes. In any case, this is my me time, this is my to-do list, and this is the events section. And the left hand side is entirely for tracking, the top section for water tracking as well. The rest, I think you have an idea, it's clearly mentioned over here. This is for sleep. If I'm going too quickly through it, just understand that I already have a detailed video on how I use my Hobonichi Cousin. That is why I'm not going to the, every tiny detail of it. So the first week was pretty good, I would say. I have used it more or less consistently. Second week, you can see I somewhere did not use it. I had reasons for it, but nevertheless, you can see that I didn't do my tracking well, nor did I actually do my to-do list over here. It's not that I didn't do anything that day, it's more of I just didn't use my planner regularly these days as such. So it's not that I was not using it at all, but I was a little bit of inconsistent with it as far as August is concerned. So this would be the last week of August, then we are entering into September from there onwards. Now coming to the daily spreads. Every daily spread, as always, begins with a dashboard sort of page, and generally I tend to write a quote on my own, or find something from somewhere, decorate it, write it down over here. August, I was at the heights of laziness when I just went for this. I just stuck a full sticker over there. I didn't have patience for it. I just left it over here. But I like this sticker. Did you write today? Okay. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. There's a lot over here. Your life is a blank page. You write on it. I really like this one, so I'm glad that I put it on over here because it relates to this planner as such. Dailies were not so good because frankly I've not used my dailies at all. I've rarely used it here and there, and that's about it. But what I do with my dailies generally is I don't write about my emotions exactly. It's more of a recap of my day, so sort of memory keeping, where I write a little bit about my day and I just highlight what is the main topic over there as such. So see, you can see over here it's largely empty, and just to be clear, I use this pen for my entire Hobonichi. It is the Erin Condren black marker pen. So one side is the fine tip and one side is the medium tip. So with the medium tip I write down the title, and with the fine tip I go for the regular writing as such. See, it makes my life easier because I don't have to search for multiple pens. I can just use one pen and then I'm done with it. And I often buy this in a set of 3, which at the full price I believe is $10, but I never buy it for the full price. I tend to go for a sale, so I get it pretty often, I think at $3 or $4, I'm not sure. And a set of 3, please remember it is a set of 3, which I find is reasonable enough when you consider more of the expensive pens that people tend to use in the Hobonichi. But see, again, I am not judging you. It is your choice what you go for. Whether you spend money on that, it's personally up to you. This is what I prefer and I'm fine with this one. I know that this is not the ideal choice for many, but I prefer this over others. I know that there are also many cheaper options than this one, but I like the color of this one and I find this to be a better choice for me. So this is largely August empty, but I've started to fill it out towards the end. Oh, this was sad, I think. It was not here exactly. It was on this page that a blob of water fell and then it went back here as well. I think once when this happened long back, I kind of used whiteout over it and then wrote on it, but this time I was extremely lazy to the point that I didn't even bother with it. I think I wrote over it so I could read what I wrote, but then that's just about it. So yeah, that was the dailies as far as August is concerned. Now we will go into my library as far as reading section is concerned. Now since we are on the reading section, coming back to planner choices for next year, it is not only Sterling Ink, there is Wonderland, there is Aura Estelle if I'm not remembered. They have multiple sizes as well. So I think they're coming up with more new sizes, so the week size and other sizes, dated, undated. I just find their shipping prices to be too expensive for me, but I'm really considering them also because they have a lot of beautiful choices. So that is also in the back of my mind, but I'll probably not buy them. I'm not sure. If you have already used them or if you are considering buying them, just please let me know. Then there is the Angel shop, I believe. Then there are a number of shops. Planner Monkey, she also has come up with notebooks. I'm not sure whether they are planners, maybe planners also. So there are a lot of choices this year. So if you have already brought them, used them, or considered buying them, just let me know what are your choices for next year. There are, of course, these are just the TRP planners. There are many other planner companies with so many new options that I feel that there is too much choice for me that I'm confused about what to do. But at the same time, I will not buy exceedingly. So don't expect a haul video from me as far as Hobonichi is concerned. You will probably see a review video once I get in what I've ordered, but not likely to see a haul video on my channel. But I would love to know what you have got because it always gives me ideas. So please let me know what is working out for you or what you're considering for next year as such. Now, as far as my library is concerned, my reading has been going down the drain since July, I think. I think June was the last time I read properly. So let's see, we're going June. Yes, here we were in June. Okay. July, I did not read a single book. August, I completed this book called Empire of Pain, and I would really recommend it to anyone who is interested in this. Yes, I know it's in the history and biography category, maybe not interesting for everyone. It was not for me because I am not someone who reads this category of books. I tend to stick to the fiction side, and therefore this surprisingly it interested me, and that was a shock for me because I expected it to be boring, but it was quite good. It was 692 pages, but I think I finished it pretty quickly. I enjoyed reading it. It was worth reading, considering I was not at all reading in July. For those who read a lot, you would probably read it easily in one day. So this was the true story of the Sackler family. I'm not going into that. I would love it if you could read it. If you have already read it, great for you. Now what I do over here is I tend to give it a rating depending on how much I liked it out of 5 stars. So this rating stars, I got it from the Hobonichi stencil. There's a yellow stencil which I use for this. I think that's the only stencil that I use from Hobonichi. So, and I have a gold colored pen. I think that one was from Erin Condren. I really like that pen, surprisingly. I don't use it anywhere else just for this, but I like the pen. And then below it I have this sort of bar. It's like that loading bar that you get for games, sort of. And I write down the number of pages that I have completed out of the total number of pages. This is done because in certain cases, as in here or somewhere else, I have not really read the whole book. Now, earlier what I used to do is I would force myself to read even if I don't like the book. But now this year I've decided that I will stop the book where I have, beyond which I can't read it if it's really that bad for me. So I've created the sort of bar to just fill in as I read it, and also write down the exact number of pages because the pages can differ depending on the type of book that you read. So I write down that category also, history, biography, and as well ebook, and the month that I read it in. So I've already gone into September now. Okay, I've already read 2 books in September, which were very easy to read. That is why you can see 2 books. But I'm trying to finish all these 3 in September because this one I've not written it down, but I'm actually halfway through it already. So this is my library section, and that is the last spread. I don't use all these pages over here, but I have a few things here. You can see it in my how I use my Hobonichi Cousin video. I'm frankly glad to know that this year the cousin will be in English, so I will understand these pages better. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.